Hey, what's up, guys? If you're new here, my name is Troy, I'm bold, and I collect watches. And today we have something a little different. And that's because this watch was kindly donated to the channel by the Trendhim online store, an online fashion store which sell watches, jewellery, bags, and gentlemen's accessories. So, without a doubt, something for everyone. Even though this watch has been donated to the channel, I will be fully transparent and honest in my review. One thing I have to add is the company themselves have disclosed they want a real and honest representation of this watch. They have to be commended for this, as it's well known that some fashion and boutique brands actively discourage this. When I was offered a watch to review, I ended up choosing this Seizmont David Tide Submariner style quartz watch. The reason I chose this is because I've never owned or handled a blue and gold watch. For me, gold on a watch can be a little bit too much. I'm more of a steel guy, but when this arrived, I was surprised at how well it looked, even with the addition of all that gold. It certainly has made me think twice about coming out of my watch collecting comfort zone. But anyway, enough waffling on. You guys want to know what I rate and what I hate, so let's start. So, how much is this going to cost? Well, if you're buying it here in the UK, you won't get much change from £150. A fair price, in my opinion, compared to what you can get from other brands such as Filippo Loretti and Vincero, but also very competitive against watches from Hugo Boss and Giorgio Armani. But why did I choose these companies for a comparison? Well, you will see this Danish company has positioned themselves within this fashion watch section of the market, but this watch does have some decent specifications. But what about those delivery charges and those taxes? Well, if you're purchasing it here in the UK, taxes are included and shipping is free, and to me, that's a sweet deal. The case size is as follows. We have a case width of 42mm, a case thickness of 12mm, lug width of 21mm, and the overall weight of the watch is 157 grams. Being 42mm, it may wear larger than some people may like, but for me, I have a 7-inch wrist, and here it is, and I think it wears very, very well. Because of its weight, I half expected it to be a thick watch, but it's a respectable 12mm. This is no doubt down to that thinner quartz movement, as opposed to having a larger NH35 automatic movement inside. I do have a gripe though, and it's that 21mm lug width. I don't have many 21mm bracelets in my collection, and I would have also liked to have seen drilled lugs for an easy bracelet change. The casing is highly polished with brushing on the upper side of the lugs, and as expected, with a Subby homage, you've got to have those crown guards. What is the defining feature of a Submariner homage? To me, I think it's the bezel. If you want to nail that look, you have to get the bezel right, especially when you're choosing your colours, be it green, black, or in this instance blue. You have to just get that right tone, and Seizmont have got the blue and gold down to a T. No doubt the plating won't be to Rolex standards, but if we look at it from the perspective that we've never seen a bluesy Rolex, this plating still does look fantastic, with that bright, vibrant gold, which works very well with this deep royal blue. For me, I'm not a massive gold fan, so this would only get an occasional wear, but the good news is that the plating is going to last a lot longer. The bezel action is smooth, only unidirectional, but that's common, so not so much of a negative, and it has little to no backplay. I have to say so far I'm impressed by this watch, especially this bezel, and at the 12 o'clock you'll see the addition of a loom pip. To help with the water resistance, which on this watch is set to 100 meters, we have a screwed down caseback. The logo is etched onto it, and also a little niggle of mine is it's not sitting central. Only a small niggle, but would have been nice to have seen it lined up. And on the caseback, we have all our relevant information and the origin of the movement. Talking of the movement, inside this we have a Miyota 2315 quartz movement. It's a reliable Japanese quartz movement from the Citizen Group. Would have been nice to see an automatic option. Who knows, maybe one for the future. If we can look at the crown for a second, it's beautifully decorated with that gold plating and it's signed with the Seizmont logo. But guys, it's not a screw down crown. It is enough though for its 100 meters water resistance, but again, this would have made a great addition. Seizmont are so proud to have included a sapphire crystal that they've even said so on the dial. It's super clean and it does sit a little higher than the bezel, but unfortunately, There is no anti-reflective coating to this crystal. The dial on this is finished with a sunburst blue, a real light catcher that looks rather impressive. The minute track is printed on the blue chapter ring, which is pretty standard. But what I like most about the dial is the inclusion of the Arabic numerals to the 3, 6, and 12. To me, very reminiscent of the Longines Hydra Conquest. The rest of the indices are round and are surrounded by a touch of gold plating. This really helps with that wow factor against the blue. It really is such a cool combo, this blue and gold, something I really didn't expect. I expected, to be honest, quite a cheap, tacky look. The hands chosen are the traditional Mercedes setup made popular by the Rolex Submariner, and when any watch pays homage to it, the one feature you tend to find is this handset. Again, they're gold coloured to simply match the rest of the watch, and we have a bit of lume applied to them and also a bit to that second hand. The date window is beautifully framed in gold, and Seizmont have gone with a traditional white date window. They're playing it safe here, but that's not such a bad thing. We have the brand name printed at the 12 o'clock and sapphire glass down at that 6 o'clock. I would like to see maybe an extra line of text down at the 6 o'clock, maybe the word quartz or the word tide, because that's the name of the lineup of these watches. Heck, maybe even add the water resistancy. The bracelet on this is fantastic. It really is a lot better than I expected. To resize it, we have our push pins. The links are solid, as are the end links, but the end links are male, so some protrusion will be found. So please bear that in mind. The clasp is superb, with Sizemont choosing to go with a milled clasp. And confession time, this is the only milled clasp watch in my collection, and now I do see what the fuss is all about. It's stamped on the buckle and comes with a moderate 3 micro adjusts. I have to mention this plating again. It's been done to a very good standard. The gold is outstanding and the outer links you will find will be brushed. The bracelet comes in at 21mm and it tapers down just to under 18mm. Anyway, it's time to wind up this review and to let you know what I think. But before I do, I have to give a shout out to Adrian over at Somewhere in Time YouTube channel. He's been a big supporter of my channel from its early days. I believe he was the first to review this watch on his channel. I dropped him a comment and then I was approached by Trendhim to also review it. I guess I was in the right place at the right time. So thank you, Adrian, and thanks for the support you've shown me and my channel. This watch is definitely a surprise when it comes to quality. When looking at fashion-oriented websites and what they have to offer for watches, you can feel bombarded by what's out there, and without sounding too judgmental, you know a lot of it's going to be trash. But please, guys, don't think this of Trendhim and Seizmont in this way. This is a great quality Subby homage that for a grab-and-go style quartz watch that won't break the bank, this ticks a lot of boxes. The inclusion of the sapphire crystal and the upgrades to the bracelet show that Sizemont know what to do when choosing extras for their watches, and they certainly did a great job on this. No doubt some people are put off by the inclusion of the quartz movement, and yes, I have to agree an automatic would have been nice. But guys, if you want to pick one of these up, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. And to any non-watch enthusiasts watching, if you want a fashionable but great quality watch, go check out the Trendhim store and pick one of these up. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for the support, and remember, I'm an enthusiast, not an expert.